Good morning, my Real News Midday TV family. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning, and I'm wishing for everyone a wonderful and a productive day. And in the news this morning, crackdown coming for windshield wipers amid rising safety concerns. The National Security Council is set to tackle the growing issue of windshield wiping and other forms of solicitation at major intersections, citing the activity as a hazard to public order and the citizens' safety. At the latest monthly meeting of the Council held last Thursday to review successes in crime-fighting strategies and to consider additional measures to boost the public order and the citizens' safety, Prime Minister Andrew Holness and the national security agencies reviewed the progress made by the security forces in reducing crime across the island. While noting significant achievements, especially by the Jamaica Constabulary Force, the Council stressed the need to broaden the focus of citizen security to address the challenges emerging in public spaces. Of a particular concern is the persistent problem of aggressive windshield wiping at the traffic lights, a practice that has evolved from a minor nuisance into a serious public safety risk. Authorities have reported increased instances of altercations between motorists and the windshield wipers, incidents of extortion-like behavior, and the cases where motorists, particularly women, feel intimidated when approached. The National Security Council emphasized that the unregulated activity undermines the public order efforts and poses a tangible threat to life and property. The situation is compounded by the presence of mentally ill street persons whose unpredictable behavior further heightens risk at busy intersections. While windshield cleaning itself is not illegal in Jamaica, police officers have previously arrested individuals involved in the practice on charges such as obstruction of traffic, solicitation, aggressive behavior, and property damage. In August 2016, authorities reported the arrest of 35 men in a targeted operation against illegal street activities. 19 individuals were apprehended at the Portia Simpson Miller Square, while another 16 were picked up at the various intersections around the halfway tree area. In response, the Council has announced the plans to convene all relevant government agencies, including the Ministry of Local Government and Community Development, the Ministry of Health and Wellness, and the Heart NST Trust to formulate a comprehensive and sustainable approach to addressing the issue. The intended plan aims not only to remove individuals from intersections, but also to provide them with pathways toward rehabilitation, skills training, and mental health services where necessary. The National Security Council has emphasized that greater focus must be placed on implementing security policies aimed at making public spaces safer and more accessible for Jamaicans, stating that true peace in the country depends on achieving these goals. The National Security Council is an organ of the Cabinet with members including the Prime Minister, the Minister of National Security, the Minister of Finance and the Public Service, the Minister of Justice, the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, the Attorney General, the National Security Advisor, the Commissioner of Police, and the Chief of Defense Staff, supported by other officials. Golding calls for independent adjudicators to deal with political disputes. Leader of the opposition People's National Party, Mark Golding, has proposed the appointment of independent adjudicators to resolve relevant disputes on the political scene. Golding's suggestion came as calls grow louder from inside the parliamentary opposition and among civil society groups for the government to reverse its decision of last year February to subsume the office of the political ombudsman into the Electoral Commission of Jamaica. Justice Minister Delroy Chuck responded on Thursday to those calls, telling the media that the government remains firm in its decision and the ECJ could appoint a director of political conduct to assess all the breaches of the political code of conduct. The ECJ has not disclosed how it has or will deal with this new role being added to its overall responsibilities since last year. Speaking at the official launch of Dr. Kenneth Russell's bid to become South Eastern St. Anne Member of Parliament in Claremont, St. Anne on Wednesday night, Golding said several incidents of political misconduct have already taken place so far this year. We have seen numerous incidents where PNP candidates have put up their billboards, put up their placards, and they are being defaced, taken down and disrespected, and it is a recipe for problems, and there is no mechanism in place to resolve those issues, Golden declared. PNP candidate for Southwestern St. Anne, Danishka Williams, issued a release earlier on Wednesday claiming that her poster boards had been removed or destroyed throughout the constituency. She too called for the office of the political ombudsman to be reinstated, given that its absence leaves a vacuum where political mischief can flourish without accountability. Golden opined that the ECJ cannot play the role of the ombudsman because its functions are geared towards setting election boundaries as well as the rules and the procedures for elections. It is not set up and should not be infected with the virus of partisanship, which is inherent in adjudicating disputes, and it is a heated situation when those disputes arise, he argued. I don't know what the government's motive is with this, but I am saying to all well-thinking Jamaicans, civil society, the private sector, and the trade unions, we have to stand up and demand that a mechanism be put in place so that there is an adjudication process for these kinds of matters when they happen, so that they don't get out of control and we return to some of the things that used to happen back in the 1970s and early 1980s when there was political violence in the country, added Golding. He renewed his call for the government to amend the law to restore the independent office of the political ombudsman. Or if that will take too long relative to the upcoming general elections, we can sign an agreement, the JLP and the PNP appointing independent, trusted and respected individuals or individuals as adjudicators for these kinds of disputes, and either party can refer any matter when a person come and take down your billboard or break into your vehicle and steal your canvas, the PNP president recommended. By agreement, he said, both the political parties will respect any such decision of recommendation made by the adjudicators. Golden further underscored the need for a prompt mechanism to resolve the present political disputes, stating that the current system is untenable due to what he said were the rising tensions across some constituencies. Mocha intensifies the battle against the cybercrime with over 40 active cases. The major organized crime and anti-corruption agency has intensified its crackdown on criminal networks, particularly those involved in cybercrime, as it pursues over 40 active cases currently before the courts. The announcement came during the latest monthly National Security Council meeting held last Thursday, where national security officials reviewed the efforts to maintain recent gains in the fight against the organized crime. According to updates provided to the Council, MOCA has significantly expanded its operational capacity over the past year, focusing on disrupting sophisticated criminal organizations that engage in cyber fraud, identity theft, and large-scale financial crimes. In addition to its growing caseload, MOCA's capabilities have earned international recognition. The agency was recently awarded by the International Association of Law Enforcement Intelligence Analysts for excellence in intelligence-driven investigations. The IALEIA, based in the United States, is the leading professional body for law enforcement analysts globally, and its awards are regarded as a benchmark for outstanding analytical and investigative performance. The growing focus on cybercrime comes at a time when Jamaica continues to grapple with rising electronic fraud cases. According to the Jamaica Constabulary Force, in 2022, a total of 320 cases of e-fraud were reported, with financial losses amounting to over $120 million. The following year, 2023, saw a slight increase to 355 reported cases. However, there was a notable shift in the value of these frauds, which reached approximately $169 million. Authorities noted that while the overall number of cyber attacks on Jamaica dropped in early 2024 compared to previous years, The incidents that do occur are becoming more targeted and sophisticated, demanding a more strategic response from law enforcement and the security agencies. At the meeting, the National Security Council commended MOCA's progress but stressed the need for continued vigilance and interagency collaboration. Officials emphasized that strengthening Jamaica's defense against the cybercrime is essential to maintaining public confidence and protecting the country's financial infrastructure. Guys, thanks for watching. Please join us this afternoon at 2 p.m. for another news update.